Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine, for a moment, a relationship. One that's not just always there, but is designed, tailored, perhaps even customized just for you.
Right.
Technology is venturing into some really intriguing spaces, and today we're diving into a project that's aiming right at the heart of that idea. Digital companionship powered by AI.
It's a fascinating concept, isn't it? Really blends the deeply personal with this highly technical. We're talking about Sleepless AI, which the materials we have describe as a Web3 plus AI companion gaming platform.
Exactly, Web3 and AI, and we've got a stack of reports and articles here about this project. Our goal in this deep dive is simple. Sift through all that, pull out the key insights, and give you, our listener, the clear picture you need, quick and thorough.
Yeah, basically exploring how they're trying to merge, advanced AI's ability to create these interactive personal connections with the unique stuff blockchain offers
A digital ownership, right?
and specific ways to engage.
Precisely. Ownership, engagement models,
Mhm.
all wrapped up in a gaming experience. It's quite a mix. It really is. Creating emotional connections but using Web3 structures. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. What exactly is Sleepless AI based on what we're seeing in these sources?
Well, the materials frame them as a pioneering game studio. Their whole thing is merging AI and blockchain tech.
Okay.
And their stated goal is to offer, and I'm quoting here, a truly unique and immersive emotional gaming experience.
Immersive emotional gaming. And why? What's the problem they think they're solving? The sources seem to point to something pretty fundamental.
They do. They touch on human solitude, basically saying that in moments of solitude, individuals seek encouragement, companionship, and love.
Makes sense.
And then they kind of contrast this with real-life relationships, suggesting they often come with their own set of limitations and disappointments.
Oof. That's, well, relatable for many, I'd imagine. So their mission comes out of that feeling.
Exactly. Their mission, as they stated, is dedicated to crafting an AI virtual companion that not only comprehends the nuances of its users, but also offers unwavering support.
It sounds like they're aiming for what do they call it? A liberating, joyous, and deeply personal love experience.
A liberating digital love experience, that's a pretty bold aim.
Hmm.
And they're launching this vision with actual products already.
Yeah, the sources point to two initial flagship games, Him and Her. These are supposed to be the vehicles for this immersive companionship idea.
Him and her. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for me. What features do the sources highlight? Like what makes these companions tick, according to them?
Okay, so several key things pop out. First, they really push the authentic emotional communication powered by AI.
Right.
This means AI handling the dialogue, the voice, other interactions,
Hmm.
all designed to, quote, simulate interactions with real humans.
Simulating human interaction. That's one part. But personalization seems key for a companion, right? Oh, absolutely. And that's listed explicitly. Customized experience. It says users can tailor their experience by choosing a preferred partner with specific qualities.
Like what kind of qualities?
Well, the examples given are things like exceptional gentleness or incredible adorableness. So you can sort of dial in the personality you're after.
Oh, incredible adorableness. I need that filter in real life.
Okay, so beyond the AI chat and picking traits, what else do you actually do with these companions? Is it just talking?
No, there's more. That comes under gamified entertainment. So yeah, you talk, but you also do things like dressing up their virtual partner, changing outfits, feeding them.
Ah, like a virtual pet mechanic almost.
Kinda, yeah. Plus, there are competitive elements like participating in PvP battles and earning rewards through things like card draws and mystery boxes.
Okay, so it really is a relationship simulation, but with like standard mobile game loops layered on top.
That's exactly what it sounds like. And the last point they highlight is this high user engagement idea. They want it integrated into daily life.
How so? The materials suggest it could be like checking the weather. It could act as a reminder of the weather, a daily alarm clock, and even accompanying you to sleep. They're aiming for it to be a really consistent, everyday presence.
Wow, your alarm clock. That's deep integration. Okay, so you have this digital companion. How is it actually represented in the Web3 side of things? Is it an NFT?
Close, but slightly different. According to the sources, your virtual boyfriend or girlfriend is assigned to you as a non-tradable SBT.
SBT soul-bound token, right?
Exactly. Soul-bound. The idea is it represents your unique companion,
Yeah.
specifically tied to you. It's not meant to be, flipped or sold on a marketplace.
Got it. So it's yours, non-transferable, and day-to-day, how do people interact with it?
Simple enough, it seems. The sources just mentioned interacting through a website or app.
Okay, so let's recap that bit. We've got an AI companion, him or HR, accessible via web or app. It's represented by a unique soul-bound token designed for personalized emotional chats, plus gamified stuff like dress up and battles, and they want it woven into your daily routine. That gives us a good handle on the product.
Yeah, that covers the core concept pretty well.
Now, every Web3 project needs its fuel, right? The native asset. Here, it's the AI token. What's its role in this whole ecosystem?
Right, the AI token.
Okay.
It's described predictably as the native utility token for Sleepless AI, and actually has quite a few different jobs based on the documentation.
Okay, let's dig into those. What are the main uses for AI that someone would care about?
Well, they list 5 key functions. First off, a top-up discount. Basically, if you hold AI, you get a cheaper price when you buy the in-game tokens.
Okay, so a direct financial perk for holders who are also active players. Makes sense?
Yep. Second, in-game purchase. You can swap your AI directly for those in-game tokens, which you then use to buy stuff like clothes, accessories, upgrade cards, etc. So it's a medium of exchange within the game.
Standard utility function there. Seems straightforward. What's next?
Third is governance. And this is where the Web3 angle really comes into play regarding the game's future. Token holders can vote on gameplay governance decisions.
What kind of decisions?
The examples they give are pretty concrete. Voting on prioritizing in-game item upgrades, like should they focus on upgrading accessories from SR to SSR, those rarity tiers in games, or even voting to decide on future accessories' new boyfriend types.
Whoa, okay. So holders get a real say in game development direction, even what kind of companions get added. That's significant.
It definitely ties the community's wallet to the project's evolution, yeah. Fourth is fee accrual. If you stake your AI tokens, you can accrue transaction fee income based on their governance weight.
Ah, staking rewards. So participating earns you a cut of the platform's activity, another common Web3 element.
Exactly. And the fifth and final function listed is in-game PK. PK usually means player killing, but here it's more like player competition. It's used by people who stake AI to vote for their own boyfriends, girlfriends to compete. And the sources mentioned the winner receiving more rewards.
Interesting. So you stake your tokens to back your companion in competitions, and winning potentially gets you more rewards. That ties staking, governance weight, and the actual companions together in a competitive loop.
Yeah, it's a pretty intricate link between the tokenomics and the gameplay itself.
Okay, that gives us a good picture of the token's utility. What about the tokenomics structure? Any key details from the sources, say, from late 2023?
Yeah, they provided a snapshot as of December 26, 2023. The token name is AI. It's a BEP20 token, so it's on the BNB chain. Total and maximum supply is capped at 1 billion AI.
$1 billion. Got it. How much was circulating initially when it launched on exchanges?
When it listed on Binance, the initial circulating supply was 130 million AI, which is 13% of the total. And the Binance Launch Pool allocation specifically made up 70 million of that, or 7% of the total supply.
Okay. Did they raise funds privately before that?
They did. The sources mentioned raising $3.7 million USD from 3 private sale rounds. In those sales, they sold about 7.6% of the total supply, and the documentation notes the latest valuation linked to those rounds was $200 million.
Right, $200 million valuation. That puts the funding in perspective. How about the rest of the token allocation? Where did the other tokens go?
The distribution breakdown they provided looks like this. Binance Launch Pool got 7%. There was a 1% initial airdrop. Investors hold 18%. The team gets 18%. There's a short-term growth fund with 29%. And finally, a long-term treasury fund holding 27%.
27% in a long-term treasury. Anything special noted about that fund?
Yes. Crucially, the sources specify that this 27% chunk is non-circulatable. Its purpose is stated as being for things like future staking rewards and operational cost after the tokens vest. But, and this is important, it carries no governance rights.
Ah, okay. So a big reserve for the future ecosystem, but it doesn't concentrate voting power. That's a key distinction.
Definitely. It separates long-term funding and reward pools from immediate governance control.
Okay, great. We've got the what and the how with the token. Let's pivot a bit. What about the project's journey? Where did they come from and where are they planning to go according to these materials?
Well, what's kind of interesting is they didn't just pop up as a Web3 project. The materials mentioned they started as a Web2 gaming studio established way back in Q2 2019.
Oh, really? So they have a history in traditional gaming?
Apparently so. It says they had several successful Web2 games published globally between 2019 and 2022. They only started to research Web3 and GameFi in late 2021 Q4.
Okay, so they're bringing that game dev background into this new space. What were the key milestones in that shift? based on the sources.
Well, they kicked off their first GameFi project in Q2 2022. Then 2023 seems like it was a huge year for them, especially Q2 and Q4. That's when they secured investments and partnerships with some big names. Foresight Ventures, they were part of the MVP program, got backing from Binance Labs, Folius Ventures.
Busy year for funding and partnerships then. What about product launches?
Yes, critically, they launched Him minigame in Q2 2023 and then followed up with the full launch of both Him and Her in Q4 2023.
Okay, so the main games are relatively recent based on these late 2023 details. What does their roadmap tell us about what's next? Sounds like they have big plans.
Oh yeah, the roadmap provided as of December 2023 is pretty ambitious. For Q4 2023, beyond the game launch, they mentioned global distribution efforts and the first Him Genesis NFT sale.
Right. And looking into 2024, what was on the cards?
2024 Q1 looked packed. Plans included launching Him 2.0, introducing new Her characters modeled after popular KOLs, key opinion leaders or influencers.
Influencer-based characters. Interesting.
Yeah. Also planned were offline anime-themed events in South Korea and Japan, more NFT sales for both Him and Her series, aiming for collaborations with globally renowned IPs.
So, like, bringing in characters from famous anime or game franchises?
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah.
And also partnerships with global comic conventions.
Wow. Okay, that's a serious push on multiple fronts: game updates, new content tied to real people, major real-world events, IP deals. What about Q2 2024? More of the same.
Pretty much continuing that momentum, Q2 plans showed expanded character choices for Him or Her, explicitly aiming to make it easier for players to find their ideal type. More global offline anime events, the launch of Her 2.0.
Okay, upgrading the Her side too.
Yep. And they also vaguely mention more new game titles to come, featuring AI and blockchain technology, plus more big marketing pushes like anime-themed pop-up events at globally famous landmarks and further Comic-Con partnerships.
It really looks like a two-pronged strategy: constantly expand the companion options and update the core games, while doing massive real-world and IP-based marketing. They're not thinking small here.
No, definitely seems like they're aiming for broad appeal, trying to bridge that gap between niche Web3 and maybe a more mainstream and a gaming audience.
Yeah.
And of course, the sources list the usual channels: Twitter, YouTube, their website for keeping up with all this.
Right, the standard community hubs. Okay, so let's zoom out. We've gone through the what, the why, the how. What does all this mean for you, our listener, tuning in? This deep dive, I think, really highlights a project trying something
Yeah.
genuinely novel.
Yeah, it's this blend, isn't it? The potential for like real emotional connection via AI, mixed with these very Web3 economic models, governance structures, all inside a game.
Exactly, and it serves as a really potent example of how tech is pushing into new territories. Not just entertainment, but exploring new forms of interaction, companionship, maybe even relationships, offering these super personalized experiences that are meant to integrate right into your daily life.
It definitely makes you think.
It really does. It brings up some pretty profound questions, doesn't it? Like, what could this mean for how we view relationships down the line, or what gaming even is, or, our own digital identity, especially when a part of it, like a companion, is this soul-bound digital thing.
Yeah, those are the big, slightly uncomfortable but important questions that surface when you look at projects operating right on these edges.
Absolutely. So just to quickly stitch it all together, we've explored Sleepless AI, their AI companions, Him and HRR, aiming for that emotional bond, the multifaceted AI token doing everything from governance to powering in-game competitions, and their really ambitious roadmap packed with updates, events, and major collabs.
It's a complex recipe combining cutting-edge tech with a very fundamental human need for connection.
It is. And that leaves us with this final thought to chew on. As these AI companions get smarter, more sophisticated, more woven into the fabric of our daily lives, how might our basic understanding of connection, maybe even intimacy, and certainly value, how might that shift? Especially when these digital relationships are directly tied to tangible digital assets, ownership, and governance within a blockchain framework.
That's definitely something worth pondering long after this deep dive
Yeah.
ends.